Jeff, and I've got Chad here again, and we've got Tyler Arnold, who just led an awesome mastery chat, and also just found the right light switch in his new house. So, like, that's great. That's just a good night all around.
Yeah.
Hey, one.
So first off, thanks so much for moderating the chat tonight. This is the second time you've done it. Both times have been awesome. This was
awesome
great chat, like a lot of positivity and like excitement for the school year. Tyler, what's kind of going through your head right now after just coming off of that?
I mean, whenever you have the chance to be around people that all have kind of the same mindset of making education exciting and fun and bring different experiences, different workplace attitudes, it's infectious. And that was really my thinking for the way I wanted to create this, was an infectious attitude, because, you know, it's really easy to think about those beginning days when it's, you know, easy. You get to meet the kids, you get to work with your staff. You know, we need these kind of things to think about when it gets tough, you know, when it's snowing, especially here in Ohio, and, you know, in February when you got the law and you got to think about all the testing that we have to do for these kids. And it's like, I think this really just kind of will bury into people's heads, you know, we're doing good.
Yes. We got a big woohoo from him. Anytime you can get Cameron to woohoo, that's a good thing.
I know. Worthington. Love my Worthington people. I love my Worthington people a lot.
Oh, yeah, Cam's great. We love Cam Carter.
Any specific, were there any of these questions that you were like really looking forward to seeing the answers to, like more so than the others? And did it sort of, did you get what you were hoping you were going to get from people from certain questions tonight?
I think, you know, I tinkered with them a lot. I was like, I had downtime, so I kept playing on my phone, writing these questions on like Notepad. And I kept thinking to myself, what's going to, you know, drive people? It was probably the first question was what really excited me the most, because for me, I think that really pushed the conversation so that people were like, okay, this is where we're going. This is where I see myself going. And so when people got done with it, they were like, yeah, this is what we're going to do this year. This is what I've been building up for.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, that was a good thing. So let me flip it on you. And so the question was, what's your motto for this coming school year?
Mm-hmm.
So moving from Columbus to Cincinnati, taking a slightly different role and stuff, what's your motto this year, Tyler?
I think it's just to ingrain myself in the culture. I'm coming into a building that they've been doing this project-based learning now for 5 years. The team has been together for, I think, 4 solid years. So I'm kind of that new cog. And my goal is to gel, but kind of add some new dynamics that's going to push and make the program even better. I kind of said it in one of my answers. I really want to forge even deeper community relations. The program, the school is doing phenomenal things, but I really want to bring in those big name community members and make them want to be a part of it, give back to the school. And I want to give back to them. I don't want it to be a one-way relationship. I want our kids to be at the forefront.
I feel like you need to talk to Ray. I know you've connected with Ray, but like that's just screaming teach further to me. So that's awesome. I love that as a motto. Jeff says this chat made me more excited for my changes this year. Jeff's down in Atlanta, and Jeff's doing a bunch of awesome stuff, like making some serious changes this year. To like, he just posted like pictures of his classroom the other day in the private group and stuff that he's got going on, and he's trying. I don't know if he's going full on grid or if he's trying to, or if he's going like partly, but he's doing some really, like, we're really pumped to see Jeff's year this year. So I love that this chat got him even more excited. So that's
following him. I better make sure I'm following for sure.
Yeah, definitely follow him. And I'm going to tell you, Tyler, like if you can get Jeff more excited than he already is, that's you ran a good chat, my friend. Like that's a good thing,
mission accomplished.
He's going full on grid. He's so excited he didn't spell it right. He didn't spell full or grid right because that's how excited he is. We love Jeff. Jeff's a good dude, so we're excited to he said grid. So that's awesome. So was there any can you think of, this is like one of the hardest ones I always throw at everybody, is if you can, and I wasn't screenshotting like I sometimes do tonight, so I don't have them, but were there any answers or or gifts or anything like that that jumped out at you, Tyler, and like really got you excited that someone like answered to you or like specifically that kind of like caught your attention? I know there's a lot going on, so that's not an easy.
There was, yeah. I was typing like a million miles trying to read. I can't think. She is actually taking a hiatus from teaching this year, but her suggestion was to bring in people who are non-traditional in the educational field, and I find that exciting because, again, as a traditional classroom teacher or a traditional school administrator, sometimes we don't get to see those fringes, and I think it's important to see the fringes because I think that's where we're going. Traditional education is kind of going to the wayside. We're pushing for this ultimate change that really supports the holistic child. And these fringe people right now are going to become the nucleus of where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I saw someone that there was, sorry, go ahead, Chad. Go ahead, man.
No, that reminds me of a phrase I used to like. Our jobs as educators or principals or as educational people is to find the genius in every student, right? And then bring that out in whatever capacity that is. So our traditional education system is very poor at doing that because if you don't fit the straight rows or the quiet, if you look at a traditional 1920 style classroom, even which is sadly not changed very much over the last 100 years or so, like that's not built to do that. It's built to make a factory worker. It's not built to make a thinker. It's not built to make those connections. But as you very correctly said, when you start to focus on those fringes, you can find those different types of geniuses. You can find those different types of talents that aren't going to be uncovered by a textbook, that aren't going to be uncovered by a quiz or a worksheet. They're going to be uncovered by some sort of external experience or community connection or engagement that wouldn't necessarily happen in a traditional classroom. So I love the focus on that. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just going to a couple comments that came through. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up. Marissa said, really love the flow of the chat. The questions were fun to answer and really got me excited about her plan for this year. That's awesome. Tiffany asked what I was going to get to, so I love that Tiffany brought it up, and we're going to do this in a second, Tyler, is to hear a little bit more about you and what got you into administration and sort of your journey. But Ray says, find the genius in every student. And quotes Chad, genius right there, she says. Jackie, who I believe is a first-year teacher going into her first job. We need to strive to this even when it's not a standard. Jackie's going to have an awesome first year too. So let's flip it to that, Tyler. Like, tell us a little bit more about you. So, I know you just moved, so you're going into a new spot here, but sort of, can you give us like the long short of your journey, like where you started and how you got into administration and everything?
Yeah. I actually had a job up in LaPorte, Indiana, and I turned it down. My now wife was moving to Columbus, and I followed my heart and went to Columbus. Only problem is Columbus is full of social studies teachers that coach. And yes.
Every other district in the country is too.
I sadly had to, bite my pride, and I became a paraprofessional, but it was probably the best experience for me. And I got to be in the classroom with true educational professionals that took me under their wing and really helped me understand even further what it meant to be a good educator. And from there, I got a job at Thomas Worthington High School working with at-risk youth. Then 2 or 3 years down the road, I became the lead instructor of the Worthington Academy. And it was there I really tried to flourish as a leader. I took on teacher-based team leadership roles. I worked hand in hand with my administrator. Shout out to Adam Scherg, who you guys should follow him. He's doing great things over there, and really got myself into a position to want to lead. I was lucky enough to work in Pickerington for a year at the alternative program. And then now down here, it's just a whole new ballgame. To sum it all up, I knew that as a classroom teacher, I could only reach so many. And the next step was to jump to that next level. I'm never going to lose my passion for being in the classroom. It's just going to be a different capacity. I want to be able to support those people and make sure that every kid gets the chance to find, as you put it, their genius. Because I feel like, as you said, education is wonky, backwards, and needs to be fixed, because we're not about the jobs that are now. We're about the jobs that they're going to create in the future.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love
That's Thomas C. Murray, who I saw speak in Warsaw, and he's just a phenomenal educator. Does a lot of work with the government, actually trying to get them to get their heads on right with it. But he talks about that all the time, about how it's not about the jobs that we prepared ourselves for. It's about these kids that are graduated in 2025, 2030. Like, what are the jobs that they need to prepare for? They're not the same thing. It's just things are changing so fast. Like, it's such an important thing there. So really cool.
We need to teach them to think so much.
I want to note that Marissa said social studies teacher who coaches right here.
All right, Marissa.
Hey, good job. If you got a job, congratulations.
Yeah.
Megan says, wow, Tyler, such an awesome impact, or such a great education background. Tiffany, increasing your impact. Jeff says social studies teachers teach all contents.
It's true.
And
That is true. Yeah.
Marissa said yes. Yeah, absolutely. So that's awesome. I'm excited. This was a good chat. Chad, was there anything that stood up for you? Anything in excitement? I know you were just excited to see everyone getting like ready for the year.
So,
Tyler, we were talking.
I love the positivity. Like, personally, like we talked about Elizabeth a little bit on the pre-chat, but like, I love the positivity, because what I hate to hear teachers do is like complaining that their summer's over. Like, as a general, like, because like and I said this a little bit before, but like, we have the best job ever. Like, we get to impact kids every single day. And there are other jobs that get to do that on that single levels, but not at the same scale that teachers do. And I was grateful for my time to do that, and then now getting to work with teachers so they can do that more efficiently and better than they ever have before. And I loved that Tyler mentioned the fact that he wanted to increase his impact, because that's literally why this was all created. Right? Because at some point you realize I can help 120 students a year, or I can help thousands, or right? And like, that's the trade-off. You don't get your own four walls, but now I'm helping people in multiple classrooms, or multiple schools, or multiple districts. So we're like, that resonated with me, like, right here, man. So that was I'm all on board with that. But I love the positivity. I love the excitement, and I truly love the fact that like we have a PLN that is just pumped, ready, and like ready to go after this school year. Because when you start the year with that positivity, as you said before, like when you hit those challenges, or if you set a really strong goal from question number 1, like those are the things that are going to drive you through those hard times. When that one kid like is off that one day, or you can't reach those 3 students and you're trying to figure out how to differentiate properly, or whatever those things are. These are the types of things that are going to get you over those humps and stay focused on just being better the next period, the next day, the next week, the next month. Because, and that's really what sort of the Teach Better mindset's about at its core, right? Like, we can't be perfect. No one ever will be. But we can always, always, always be a little bit better, whether it's the next 5 minutes, the next class period. And as long as we all focus on that, like, we're all going to be okay, right? like failing's okay. What you do afterwards is what matters, right? And so like, and I felt that like viscerally in this chat. So like, having a nucleus of people that is just built on that is like super exciting to me, because this is an army. This is truly an army of people that's going to go and do this in their classrooms in a couple of weeks. And that to me is like, I said before, I'm like a kid on Christmas right now.
That's what I was going to say.
Tyler, I'm sure you speak to a lot of educators, and you've been talking to your staff, and we've been talking at conferences and workshops, but none of these teachers have been able to unlock any of this great information in their classrooms. And this is the time they all get to start doing that. So we get to reap the benefits of all this work, of all this passion. And I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, but I just get so excited. I get so excited because it's like now we get to reap the benefits, because you've planned all summer. You've tried new things. You've torn everything down and rebuilt it the way you think it's going to work better for your kids. Like, now you get to see what all that work does. And that's just so exciting to me. And I felt that in tonight's chat. And that was largely in part to the awesome moderation that we had from our moderator tonight. So nice work.
I want to touch on, you said something about the awesome PLN, this Mastery Chat family that we have. And we say this all the time, how amazing it is, how many people come out after working all day and they still jump on Twitter at 8 o'clock to improve themselves. And we had this moment at the end of the school year where we had 2 weeks that sort of seemed like we were going to do a downtrend in participation in Mastery Chat. And we're all like, well, that makes sense. It's summer. People are on vacations and doing things like that. And then it just skyrocketed back up, and it stayed up the entire summer. And the last 4 weeks have been up and stuff. And that says and we say, again, I'm a broken record, but it says so much about this, our PLN and the Master Chat family, but just educators in general, about how just, I think maybe some people might be complaining, like Chad said, might complain about summer's over, but they're still so pumped up to get back in their classroom. That a day after they get done with last year, they're jumping on to Master Chat. They're going to a conference. They'll get into an 8-hour workshop, and then they're doing that all summer long, maybe taking a vacation day here or there or whatever, relaxing, but getting ready. And here we are again when they're starting to get into crunch time. It's August. It's time to make sure everything's ready. My room's set up. My plans are all put together and stuff. And they're still taking the time to jump on a Twitter chat, to engage with other educators, to try and learn just that any little bit more they can to get ready to the school year. And that's just, and I think it's why Chad and I both get that really excited. Now we get to see everyone just be amazing all this year and connect with teachers and hear about all the amazing stories. And that's why we have a really awesome job too. So
it's cool to see the passion that, that brings everybody together. I mean, as you said, from Atlanta, all across the country. And, sometimes even in your own building, you can get a little worn down, but when you come in here, it's like that instant recharge where you're like, if they can do it, I can do it. Coming from a sports background, it's that competitive nature. I mean, it's not a negative, but I see somebody doing something positive and it's like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to post it. And I'm going to inspire somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep pushing myself to do great things. And that's what this community really does. And that's why I love Twitter. At first I never really got into it. I was like, what's the buzz about it? Now I understand. It's so fun to be able to see and connect with all these people. I probably have met maybe 10% of these people in real life, but I feel like I saw you at a conference or, I was out and about, I would sit down and have a conversation with you and it would just be like we were old friends and we would just have a good time about it.
That's one of the funnest things about at several of the conferences this summer, we've been able to meet some of the people from the Master Chat family. First, and it's we go meet them. It's I've never met you, but we're hugging. We're, we've known each other for a while now. And it's wait, we've never actually met. Yeah. And it's just, that's super awesome. So
I love that he mentioned, the culture piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you said something earlier on that really resonated with me as well about that positivity being infectious, especially in your role as an administrator. You're probably more aware of this than I ever was as a teacher, but the staff morale and culture, a few really positive people can do so much in that environment. And that all starts with leadership, right? I mean, that starts with leadership and being solution oriented and having that growth mindset. But when you just get that nucleus of positivity, that's not going to take an excuse, but only look for a solution. That's not going to ask for, you know what I mean? So those are the things that drive you through those difficult times in a year. And even and those things are infectious. And if you can't find it, like you said, in your building, being able to provide it to everyone in this outside of the school setting, is even cooler, right? Because now if maybe you're an unlucky teacher that you have a staff that has a low morale or that they're not positive, or they have teacher lounge syndrome. You know what I'm talking about? And but if you can come here every Thursday night and listen to passionate, amazing people like Tyler and interact with other passionate people that are going to get you motivated, that aren't going to let your excuses eat you up, but give you solutions and help and support to get you over your problems. I mean, that's a really powerful thing that I think I feel like maybe that underlying awesomeness gets lost sometimes because we're so the topic of the chat's really cool and the answers are really cool, but that's what we're providing every time this happens. That's awesome. I love that. So that's pretty cool.
I like your answer where you said, it takes only a few. Well, I know this group has grown, so people are inviting, colleagues and things. Yeah. So imagine, okay, now we have 2 people on board, 3 people on board, and that just takes over a whole building. And people are getting good ideas on how to approach these people who may not have the same attitude as them, but they're helping them get to that point. It switches attitudes, and that's what we need to see in the buildings.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. That's good stuff. So let's. What's that? Yeah. I'm excited to see. To connect with you throughout the year and hear how this, you're going into this new building.
We should be in Cincinnati area soon. We should stop and say
welcome to stop.
Tiffany's just coming back, so I think she's still on her way back from Cincinnati.
Yeah, she was at High Ames actually. Yeah,
down somewhere that way. So, so let's so I want to want to touch that next week. Obviously we have Mastery Chat next week. We've got John Hayward, who is at J Hayward Twit, which I love that he puts Twit in his thing. And the topic is student-centered practices. John's a really cool guy. He's been with the Mastery Chat family for a long time. Had to take like a leave of absence from us for a little bit because he taught a Thursday night class, and then he came back and he was just like kissing the ground after he was like stuck at sea forever. It seemed like he was so pumped up, and he wrote a book and he sent us a copy of his book, and it's awesome. So like, we love John. We're really excited for next week. So that's 8:00 p.m. Eastern as always. Student-centered practices. Tyler, I want to do one more thing. Can you tell us all, since we had such a fun chat with you tonight, can you give us tell us something about you that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with school that we might not know, that people might not expect it to be, like maybe a personality trait or something you love that we wouldn't see coming?
I'm sure via my Twitter pictures, I think I have now counting 20 tattoos.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Junkie, yes, I'm a tattoo junkie now.
No kidding.
The cutoff line at my
yeah, of course.
Yes, sure. But I am a tattoo. Yes. So
all right, let me bring a second up one. What's the most meaningful tattoo you have right now?
Man, I got 2. I have on this whole chest right here all my daughter's names with my youngest daughter's footprints and my wife's initials up here.
Wow.
And then for my mom, I just got, I don't know, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but she passed away. It's a whole scene.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. So I got that for her. It took me about 1.5 years to get over the whole process of losing her. And that was kind of the homage to her.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
See, I knew Tiffany was going to comment because Tiffany's got 2, and I know she always wants more. So I knew she was going to. She got really excited when you said you had 20 tattoos. So that's cool. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I think I seen a picture or 2, like I knew you had 1 or 2, whatever. But 20, that's a lot, especially to keep them all hidden in the cutoff. Like that's
exactly.
So
I bet you
awesome.
Students love that too, though.
They do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you become real that way. Like that, you're not just. Like
sure, it creates my story, and
authentic.
Yeah, and they see that it's that it's okay to express yourself and whatever way you feel you need to, and that they do that. That's really cool, man. We really appreciate you taking time, moderating with us again, always being in the chat and always sharing your insight and stuff. I'm excited to hear more as you get into your new role over there.
Man.
Will do.
Truly appreciate it. We will see all of you guys back here next week. Prior to the chat, we'll come live, about 1:45, and then 8:00 p.m. We'll be live or over on Twitter chatting with John Hayward, Student Centered Practice. So until next week, guys, we'll see you then. Appreciate you. Have a good night, guys.